Hey y'all, it's Zach, the Gulf Coast gardener. I garden here in Mobile, Alabama, Zone 9A. And today I wanted to show you some plants and some things I've been up to in the garden. So we went over today and shopped at Kim's Nursery. Kim's Nursery is located in Wilmer, Alabama. It is a very small family-owned nursery and they offer plants at an amazing price. So the perennials, annuals, trees, whatever it is, if it's in a 1 gallon container, it's $5. If it's in a 3 gallon container, it's $15. I had to get there bright and early today because I had to get this. This is Evergreen Wisteria. Evergreen Wisteria is a little bit different than your typical wisteria. It's not in the same family, but it still offers you the same clustered legume-shaped bloom. Instead of being in a light purple, it's definitely in a more dark purple, definitely more moody, definitely more of a jewel tone. And then it's going to have a very yellow eye. It's going to be fragrant and it's going to have smaller blooms. The leaves do remind you of a wisteria, however, they are much more waxy than a normal wisteria. In other news, we did go ahead and get the arbor bolted into the ground. Let me show you where it's sitting and what plants we have to go in it. So here's what we're thinking. Put you on a wide camera here. So I have a replacement arbor coming that matches this, that has the heart shape on it and is black wire. Zayden has learned to climb this, and I found him the other day on top of here. And I don't want a broken arm, so we will be getting rid of that. So you walk through here, and I have to move this chair. I just had it sitting here. But here from Kim's Nursery, we got coral vine. Coral vine will grow up here and be beautiful. Here from Kim's Nursery, we have the Evergreen Wisteria. That'll grow up here and be beautiful. Here from the Botanical Plant Cell, we have the Clematis Armandii. So this one and that one will be evergreen. So I might swap these two. And then this one's gonna be annual, and I am probably gonna plant some purple hyacinth bean. The Evergreen Wisteria definitely reminds you of a purple hyacinth bean. Right here is going to be the Moonflower, started from seed, and I'll have her grow up here. I do have a little bistro table that I'm thinking I'll put right here. I did add some pretty little birds since this is a bird-shaped arbor. One there and one there. At first I had it over our fountain, but my husband made a good point that the fountain and arbor were too close together. Need to spread out the love. Here where we are just the other day with our Hinoki cypress, with our verbena that is doing so good, and our freshly transplanted playing the blue salvia. Yay! This is a angel trumpet that I need to go ahead and cut back, but I like to keep it here so I can remember how big it gets to space and scale. Another find from Kim's Nursery is this variegated forsythia. I'm thinking I'm gonna put it here because doesn't it just bounce off beautifully off of that purple oxalaris? I won't expect many flowers, but the leaf is just beautiful. Look at that. Stunning. Variegated forsythia. Forsythia typically bloom very early spring. You can see right here, our oak leaf hydrangeas are waking up, looking beautiful. Those are the lame po. And then right here is going to be the peach, Georgia peach heuchera. It's all coming together pretty nicely. This is some of our night scented tobacco that we planted out. Foxglove, that's been a 2-year endeavor there. Hopefully we'll get some blooms this year. Oh, I think a Fathergella is blooming. Fathergella is going to be in that witch hazel family as well. Look. Fragrance test. There's a slight honey fragrance there. Really smells like summer. The Scentlandia is blooming. Oh, that's exciting. Yay. So, this is the variegated mystery hydrangea. Love this plant. From Kim's Nursery. Amazing plant. Picked up 2 more. $15 each. Look at that. Oh, they're gonna be beautiful. So I know I got a hosta there, so I'm waiting for the other hostas to kind of wake up so I know where to put these. But they definitely stay smaller. So I want the camellias to get bigger and then kind of have them popping up, but I don't want to impede the hostas too much. This right here is mountain mint, planted from Kim's Nursery. Looking beautiful. Variegated artemisia from Kim's Nursery, looking beautiful. You might see a trend here. Chocolate chip ajuga from Kim's Nursery, looking beautiful. But what's so cool about Kim's Nursery is that Kim and Don Wyndham, the owners, also have bred and introduced several of their own plants. One of them is right here, and this is Don's variegated Elysium, or Japanese anise, and it has a red flower that doesn't smell too great, but beautiful red pink stems that have that white and green foliage. This is going to be a shade lover, so perfect for my garden. Another little side note, this is the Japanese maple Golden Falls. It was planted in October of 2024, and this is her second spring waking up. I'm loving her color. The camera currently is not doing her justice. She is glowing here in this afternoon light. Beautiful little shape to her. Can't wait till she grows up. She's definitely gonna be more of a weeper as she gets taller. So this is another Don's variegated, but it's not an Elysium. Instead, it's a native azalea. Beautiful native azalea that has light orange to white and yellow in its bloom, and its foliage is a beautiful dusted green. Also from Kim's Nursery, we picked up some October pinks, which are going to be an heirloom chrysanthemum. I picked up 3 Blue Fortune agastache. Love this. Hummingbird mint. It's great. Beautiful floriferous. Beyond stoked to try this. I got 2 of these. These are the purple prairie flower, and it's a native grassland plant, and we're gonna plant it out front on either side of the magnolia trees to go with all of the grasses that we're planting there. I got 1 to try on each side. This one's new to me. I'll have to do some reading about it, but it's tuberose. Nice and fragrant. She potted it up mid-February of this year. This one is going to do great in our front sandy border. This is beach rosemary. Drought tolerant, loves the sand. You can see it blooms right now. It's not very culinary. It doesn't have much of a taste to it, but it is in that rosemary family, I believe. If it's not in the rosemary family, it definitely looks like rosemary, behaves like rosemary, but not culinary. Here we are with 3 purple yarrow. Love yarrow. It has a ferny-like texture, but then it comes up with a nice umbral-shaped flower. I have the white one, excited to add the purple. Filled milk, Laspediza, bush clover. I have the other 2 bush clovers that she sells, the purple volcano and pinky winky, and those both do really good. But now she has a variegated leafed one called spilled milk. Super excited to grow this one in the garden. They actually do really well in the shady areas of our garden. Now, one little fun thing that happened was I had made a cutting of the Rhapsody and Blue Rose and gave it to Kim because I was like, this is one of my favorite roses. This cutting took, please take it. And she was like, oh, thank you. And so then in return, she gave me a cutting of a Don Juan rose. Don Juan is a red climber and is noted for being one of the best climbing roses overall in the history of roses. So excited to try that one, even though red isn't my typical go-to. I know we'll find something great for it. Now, one more thing I want to show you all that I did today was remove the weeping willow tree. I planted the weeping willow tree in October of 2023. It was doing good. It did have some dieback this winter, but I found something better to replace it. And now I don't have to worry about fighting the weeping willow tree because this plant will still give me that weeping form while evergreen and not outgrowing its space. Of course, I am talking about the weeping red cedar. I did not bring you guys along showing you how I removed the willow tree because I wasn't sure how I was gonna go. It actually was very easy. I know their roots are horror stories, but in my case, it was only there for about, I'd say 20 months or so, maybe 24 months, 26 months. And yeah, the roots were not bad. I went around in a circle and it popped right out. And then I went ahead and popped in our weeping red cedar, and it is just so gorgeous. Let me turn you around so you can get a better look at it. So if you can see here, her skirt is already completely filling in the ground. As I bring you up, she is easily standing 4.5, 5 feet tall. Beautiful weeping form. I love how she's being backlit by the sun at the moment. Definitely much smaller and going to be a much slower grower than the weeping willow tree, but overall probably a much better move. You can see here we have our Blue Point juniper, and this is a golden dwarf hinoki cypress. Not sure which cultivar it is. It did not have a tag on it. The front border is looking great. Everything is flowering and blooming. The snapdragons that we planted just a few days ago are all settling in just beautifully. The ranunculus is blooming. I do have an iris blooming. Here is an anemone. This is an azalea, the double purple. Right here is the iris. Now this is Siberian iris, and I planted it 3 years ago, and it comes back. It's coming back bigger and fuller, so I'll need to plant more of these. I'll need to remember that these actually do well in my garden and to go crazy with it. That's my spring bulb. Noted. Of course, our Silas minor rose. 2 days in, it's already starting to blow out. Not a very long-lived rose. I did just plant the Osteospermum. These were on clearance over at Lowe's. They were $4 each. I grabbed 6 of them. Popped them in here. Give us a sunny corner at the curve of the sidewalk. This is a seedling azalea over here that's actually in bloom right now. I did not plant this. It showed up about year 4 of me living here. So yeah, a wild seedling. She has a very nice shape, very floriferous. Maybe we'll monitor her and introduce her in a few years. Look at that. What could you call her? JR's leopard, junior leopard maybe. Oh yes, this plant right here is finally about to start to flower after years. It is the juiced orange jessamine from Proven Winners, and it has just been fighting the cold snaps. And you can see it's about to bloom, it's about to open. No fragrance just yet, but we have some cold weather coming in 2 nights. So hopefully it doesn't freeze to the point of taking these flowers, but it might. Now here's the weeping willow tree. I have it in my mulch stash. I just kind of buried it in the mulch. It's about 5 feet tall. You can see I cut back all the dead, and this is it. It's a good caliber. It's about 1.5 inches caliber. So I will put this on Facebook and see if anybody wants a weeping willow tree for their free. If you're local, let me know. So now I'm just taking my time to weave this vine through these hearts. Taking off the old staking. There we go. Beautiful. Now for the beast, Clematis Armandii. Now I know some of you are probably wondering, Zach, why are you not using biotone? Well, simple, I'm out. I used it all for the weeping cedar. Whoa, look at this. Beautiful roots, but not root bound. Crazy. There's a ladybug on here, cute. Looks like a real ladybug too. This is when patience is key. It has twined over itself in multiple ways. Now that I have the bed covered with mulch, which was a chore, I am wetting it down and patting it down, kind of packing it in. And I'll come back in a few more days and add more till it's a nice cushioned area that will not grow weeds, because I don't have time to mow this area right here. So just kind of a final look here. The Evergreen Wisteria will get afternoon sun. Will easily cover this area. Coral vine, I don't know, it might not survive a winter, but it might be root hardy. Tropical pink, it's going to be a summer bloomer. Clematis Armandii. This one here is an evergreen clematis that blooms white in the winter. And then we have another summer bloomer that blooms at night, the Moonflower. We have our bird decorations. And I will be adding some lights here, I'm sure. Well, guys, we got it done. We got the arbor anchored into the ground. We planted our vines to go up it. And then we mulched a pad for it. So excited. I went to go get some lights to put on top of it, but I couldn't find any. Sorry. But yes, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.